Hey, it's the Empire. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon for more videos. We taking over. Let's go, champ. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's go.
Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, Backstream Boxing. Now, my boy Jermell Charlo versus Castano happened last night, man, and man, that was a very competitive fight, man. Now, it's wild, man. Coming into this fight, man, I figured that Jermell Charlo had problems with pressure just because when he fought Tony Harrison, he was getting backed up by a guy with really no power. You know, Tony Harrison's not known for power. He's not known for anything besides really good timing. Tony Harrison had a really good timing on his jab, and in the second fight, he was able to walk Jermell Charlo down. And when Jermell Charlo is fighting backwards, he's just not as effective as fighting backwards as he is moving forward. Now, that being said, Castano was able to pressure Jermell Charlo, and Charlo was basically, he was doing good in the beginning until he got hit with the first shot from Castano, right? It was doing good until he got hit, and not only did he get hit, but after he got hit for the second time, he got wobbled to the point where he almost got knocked down. And from that point on, Jermell Charlo was really hesitant to trade with Castano because understand that he's not just a pressure fighter. He's a pressure fighter with good timing and good counter puncher skills. So that being said, man, there was times in that fight where Jermell Charlo almost stopped Castano in round 2, and then later in the fight, Castano started hurting Jermell Charlo and hitting him with clean shots. Now, it was wild, man. I thought Castano edged it out, but I could see it being a draw as well because understand that Castano was throwing a lot of punches, but he'll throw a combination and maybe only 2 of the punches will really land. So it's just that Jermell Charlo was extremely inactive in the fight for some reason. Every time Jermell Charlo threw more than 2 punches, he would land. He was just throwing a jab and a straight right. But again, this is a testament to Castano's counter-punching ability because when Jermell Charlo did open up, he was getting countered by the volume puncher in Castano. If you try to trade with the volume puncher, he's used to throwing a lot of punches, so he's inherently going to be landing because that's what he does. That's his bread and butter. So Jermell Charlo didn't really want to fight Castano's game, so he was choosing his shots wisely. Now, Jermell Charlo in this fight, man, I felt like he could have threw more body shots. I felt like he could have threw uppercuts. I don't think he threw any uppercuts, really. I guess he did later in the fight, but that being said, those are like flurries. When Castano was hurt, he didn't really try to counter him with any left uppercuts. Like a Gervonta Tank Davis when he knocked out Leo Santa Cruz. Gervonta was trying to land that uppercut, countering the guy when he was coming in. That's how you fight a pressure fighter. You hit him with uppercuts because he's coming straight in. So that being said, man, it was a really competitive fight, man. It could have went either way, but I still think that the inactivity of Jermell Charlo was what really hurt him. It was wild because in the 10th round, Jermell Charlo almost stopped Castano and had him hurt for a whole round. And then in the 11th round, he just looked at the guy and he let Castano get his bearings back, and then he started coming forward again. Jermell Charlo, for some reason, just didn't want to walk Castano down. There was never a point in this fight, besides having him hurt, where Jermell Charlo imposed himself on Castano without hurting him, just walked him down. At heart, Jermell Charlo is not a walk you down kind of fighter. He's a boxer at heart. He just happens to hurt people sometimes, and when he hurts you, then he goes wild on you. But besides that, though, he's not a walk you down type fighter. Usually those kind of fighters have really good body shots, and they have a variation of punches. Jermell Charlo tonight just really didn't throw too many body shots, and Castano was throwing body shots, head shots. There's points where he was popping Jermell Charlo's head back with jabs. I mean, he basically did everything in the book. Picture perfect to what a smaller fighter, how he should fight a bigger fighter, right? Walking down, he stayed at an angle to where Jermell Charlo was straight right, really couldn't do much because he was off to Jermell Charlo's left side of his body. So, man, it was a really good fight, man. It was a competitive fight, and it looks like they're most likely going to run it back. Jermell Charlo, after the fight, didn't seem too confident in wanting a rematch. The announcer asked him, hey, man, what do you want to do next? And he's like, we got to talk to Heyman. We got to talk to my manager. I don't know. And he's like, man, but this is for Undisputed. What do you mean you don't know? This is about the biggest thing you can do in your career. Jermell Charlo, once again, was talking about how big of a deal being Undisputed was, right? He was saying this is something that Floyd Mayweather never did, right? But when asked about a rematch, he's talking to the manager. He knows this was a tough fight, and there's just a lot of unspoken, unspoken challenges that Jermell Charlo had. One thing that people gotta understand is having a volume puncher walk you down. It takes a lot of mental pressure on you, because Jermell Charlo is a thinking man fighter, and when you have a pressure guy walking you down, he takes away the time you can think of what to do. When things are slow paced, Jermell Charlo has an advantage. But when things are, you push the pace on Jermell Charlo, he'll start thinking too much, and he start being real conservative in his punches. He'll get to the point where if you walk him down, he'll just freeze up basically. And that's basically what happened in this fight, man. Jermell Charlo started freezing up because every time he tried to trade with the guy, he's doing what he's supposed to do, he was getting the worst of it, But this fight was competitive, man. Every time Jermell Charlo walked Castano back, and the few times he did, he was doing good. He just needed to let his hands go more. Everything was power. There was no just touching Castano. There was just power shots, I know you didn't want to fight the guy's fight by throwing volume with volume puncher, but you still got to touch the guy. You can't just throw power with everything. You got to vary the shots and just touch them to see what lands and then throw your shots. There's no variation in Charlo's offense tonight. He could have threw a lot more body work. He could have done a lot more. But at the end of the day, this was a draw, and I want to see it again, man. I thought it was an extremely competitive fight. It was a fun fight for sure. Jermell Charlo almost stopped Castano twice, and Castano had one really good round right in the beginning of the fight. I think it was the third or second round where he almost dropped Jermell Charlo. So that being said, man, competitive fight, man. We want to see it again. And man, the 154 division is stacked, man. People don't talk about it, but that's a stacked division. Anyone can lose anytime. That's why I always thought Hurd was a horrible matchup for Jermell Charlo, because Hurd, at least in a pre-Julian J. Rock Williams, was a aggressive fighter who threw so many punches. I think he's still better than Castano. I know he lost the fight, his last fight, but at Hurd's peak, he's still a better fighter than Castano. He hits harder, better combinations, right? Castano didn't really work behind a jab. I guess he's more defensively sound, but I still think Hurd offers Jermell Charlo much more of a challenge, in my opinion. And I still think to this day, if Hurd fought Jermell Charlo, I still favor Hurd in that fight. Anyway, man, let me know how you guys feel about the Jermell Charlo Castano fight, man. I thought it was a competitive fight. Thought it was a good fight. Let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Geobasket Empire. Peace.